being a teacher of business and management studies, you would have seen a lot of your own students and also your own experience in the field, right? As to what makes someone a star in this field, like whether it's as a student or whether it's later on in their career to excel at it. So, what have been some of the patterns that you've observed to be great in this field? One, when it comes to knowledge and practical exposure that the field provides, and another is what does it take to be great with respect to your personality and your etiquette? So, what are some things that you need to maintain or have to be as a person to excel? So, let's start off with knowledge and practical exposure and what you need to gain to be great in business and management.
Yeah, so again, very interesting question, Pawan. I would like to sort of digress a little bit and talk about an experiment that was carried out several years ago, decades ago. It's called the marshmallow experiment, and this, of course, happened in the US. And just to cut to the chase, experiment was very simple. They got a lot of young kids into a room, and they gave them a chocolate or a marshmallow. And it was placed in front of the kid with a fairly simple instruction. The kids were observed that if you don't eat this for about the next, say, 7 to 10 minutes, you will get one more marshmallow.
Yeah.
And what they found was that majority of those young children ate that marshmallow, and there was only a very few minority that sort of resisted the temptation to receive the second one. It's very interesting. And then they carried out a longitudinal study. They sort of observed these kids, and they found that those people who had resisted that impulse actually did better in life in material terms. So, the question is, why do we work? And that's a very interesting question, because I ask my students that also. So again, to cut to the chase quickly, the reason why we work is because we hope to have a better tomorrow. So we sacrifice something. So obviously, all of us would like to be sitting on a beachside, sipping a mug of beer or something like that and watching the sunset. But why do we work? Why do we turn up in office? Why do we sort of put up with several boring aspects of life? It's simply because we hope that the sacrifice that we sort of invest today will deliver substantive results in the future.
Yeah.
And so one is, of course, the knowledge part of it, and the exposure that we get, but also the intrinsic understanding that there is no alternative to hard work, I think is very important for several people. And that is something that I've learned through my life. You can't get away without working hard and being invested in what you are doing. So it's so loosely called as passion.
Yeah.
So unless you are passionate with what you are doing, you're going to struggle, because somewhere it's going to catch up with you. Some of us might get lucky on occasion, and you might score a few big ones, but eventually the lack of effort and the lack of commitment and the lack of responsibility is going to sort of affect the results that are, or the outcomes that happen. And just to share an anecdote, can I share an anecdote?
Yes, sir, please.
So this 2010 brilliant, and whenever I am in New York City, I actually go to this place in the Hudson where this gentleman called Captain Sully Sullenberger landed his aeroplane. So he took off from LaGuardia, one of the airports in New York City, suffered a bird hit, and then both his engines sort of conked out. And now he had a choice whether to return to the airport and land his plane or land it land it somewhere else. And he made that decision in a split second and decided to land on the river, something that nobody had done before, and successfully saved his aircraft and those several hundred passengers and crew that he was carrying. That's not the point. The point is, if you read about Sullenberger, he says that he thought of nothing but flying from the age of 5, and he was 55 when this happened. So 50 years he's been thinking of flying. That is passion. That is hard work. That is commitment. And so unless you are deeply invested in what you do, results are going to be very skewed.